smack in the middle of all the madness of March with Mike Sidekick. And we've got a little bit of everything this evening, a little bit of everything, but it's that time of year. It's that time of year when we get to sit back and learn a whole lot about a whole bunch of colleges we've never heard of in our entire life. Hey, it's college tournament time in basketball, one of my favorite times of the year. And, you know, I've been trying to think about it for, a while now, Sidekick. Why do I get into this? I love college basketball. I love it. I love it at this time of the year in particular, and I think I figured it out. I came from a college basketball school. I came from a school right here in Philadelphia that, hey, we didn't have a football program. You came from one, you were there, what, Penn State, where you had a football program? I didn't have a football program. We had a basketball program, and that was it. And so there, last night on our Facebook page, there was our Facebook friend, Dr. Rich, and he's sending us updates about what's going on with my alma mater in the A10 tournament, and it was great. I loved it. I love it. And this coming Sunday, Selection Sunday. We got Selection Sunday coming up for the NCAA tournament and the bracket. 68 teams getting in. Exciting time. And then you got 2 whirlwind weeks of just absolutely incredible play from college kids.
It's awesome how far you've come.
They're in, I'm telling you, the NCAA tournament, that's the beauty of it in college basketball. So much different than the bastardization of championship series, which is the BCS. Come on, let's get it straight. All right? So, come Sunday, we're going to have a whole bunch of little teams sitting out there waiting for their name to be called against, teams like North Carolina and, teams like Duke and what have you.
Hey, it looks like some of my home state teams may be represented.
There might be teams that are thrown in there that we never even heard of. And so what we want to do in this special time, we want to give you a chance to make the dance. Give you a chance to make the dance right here on another one of our fantasy spectaculars, another opportunity for you to jump in with the Frat House. All right? All you have to do to participate, here's what you got to do. Just send us an email to Frat House Eagleville. Give us an email that you want the invite sent to, and I will make sure that you get that invite to our bracket challenge. All right, but you got to do it by Monday, March 12th. All right, and that should be a lot of fun. We're going to jump over to NASCAR real quick. Take a look at what happened this past weekend. And we're doing this for everybody, but we're doing this particularly for all those friends of ours that jumped in on our NASCAR fantasy, which we got, what, maybe 30? It's got to be about 30. We got 3 leagues going in the Frat House
about
fantasy.
48.
There's a total of 48, that's right.
48, yeah.
Quick update on what happened over there at the Phoenix International Raceway. Great race. I thought it was exciting. Surprise, surprise, Denny Hamlin came out of that. He won it. He got the checkered flag. Kevin Harvick, who ran out of fuel on the final lap. He came in second. Greg Biffle came in third. That was his second top 5 race in 2 races. And Jimmy Johnson in fourth. Brad Keselowski came in 5th. And then, of course, this weekend coming up, we are going to be at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. That'll be broadcast for all of you on Fox Live at 2:30 Eastern Daylight Time. All right? All right. How about some football news? Didn't think we were going to be talking. I really didn't think we'd be talking football much before maybe about draft time. But last night we got a kind of stop the presses sort of situation where it was all of a sudden it was announced that, hey, Peyton Manning and the owner of the Indianapolis Colts, Jim Irsay, were going to be meeting at a press conference today. And of course everybody had a pretty good idea where that was going to be going. And so we got a little bit of videotape for you on that from the press conference.
Get your tissues ready.
There you go.
Thank you, Jim. I sure have loved playing football for the Indianapolis Colts. For 14 wonderful years, the only professional football I've known has been Colts football. Our team won a lot of games here. I played with so many great teammates here, and I've been part of a great organization here, an organization and an owner who I respect and continue to respect. I've been a Colt for almost all of my adult life, but I guess in life and in sports, we all know that nothing lasts forever. Times change, circumstances change, and that's the reality of playing in the NFL. Jim and I have spoken extensively about where we are today, and our conversations have led both of us to recognize that our circumstances make it best for us to take this next step. This has not been easy for Jim, and it certainly has not been easy for me. Jim, along with Bill Polian, drafted me 14 years ago. Jim and I have always been close, and we made a lot of great memories together. He's always been good to me, and Jim, I will be forever grateful.
And so there, you know, you had that, and I got to be honest with you, it was almost a little surreal to me. I mean, you know, here you got Peyton Manning. I mean, he's this icon that, you know, 14 years there with the Colts, and you just kind of thought that, I just kind of thought, I mean, you know, he was going to be there forever. I mean, you know, whether you like him or whether you don't. Peyton Manning, Colts, huh? Now, he's off to someplace else. I don't know if I can ever see him in another uniform. Thoughts?
Hey, but at least they retired his number.
Oh, well, that's for another show. Whether that's
Now go away, or I shall taunt you a second time.
Thoughts on the whole thing?
Well, you know, it's an end of an era for Indianapolis. You know, they've been this, you know, this franchise. They've used to winning. They're going to have to get used to losing now for several seasons. You know, he's going to, you know, Peyton's out of there. They're, you know, chances are they're bringing in Luck. Is Luck going to be able to get into that system? They're rebuilding. They're, you know, I think it's going to be tough for Indy for a
I'm
while.
not a big Luck fan myself. Interestingly, and Adam Schefter this morning narrowed it down on where he felt his landing spot was, where Peyton Manning's landing spot was, and he narrowed it down to Miami, Washington, Arizona, New York Jets. Any thoughts?
I'd like to see him land on the couch. Personally, but I mean, you know, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to watch, you know, as free agency plays out, which starts next week, and that, because there's been some talk of the package deal, him and Reggie Wayne.
Right, exactly.
So, you know, it'd be interesting to see how they start scouting, you know, going to teams. Are they going together? Are they going independently and just talking about, hey, it'd be great to play together?
Or could he end up here with us on the Frat House on the couch?
Hey,
okay.
we could use an NFL analyst, Peyton. Just saying. I mean, you know, it's probably not, you know, it's not the 28 million kind of bonuses, but, you know, we can get you like 28 ding-dongs or something.
Alrighty. We can't get away from the NFL. Who would have thought there'd be two big stories this week? We can't get away from the NFL without going to the Greg Williams bounty gate issue. I hate to even use that term. I don't even want to use it. All right. Big story that just broke last Friday, and when it did, I hit everybody up on our Facebook page, and I said, oh my gosh, this thing could be a time bomb. And in fact, following an investigation by the NFL, they found that there were, listen, we're not talking $1,000, we were talking as much as $10,000 being put up to take guys out on gurneys. People like Brett Favre and Peyton Manning were being brought up in the whole situation. All being coordinated by Greg Williams. And as they further went into investigation, they found it went as far as Washington Redskins and the Buffalo Bills. You know, I've heard talking heads on the whole thing this week. Talking heads, sports talking heads, and then you've got the post players, and you got the current players, and you got and it seems to me you got three different sides that people are coming down on. One is the moral indignation side. That's my side, all right? The side that says, oh my God, this is absolutely horrible. I can't believe this is even going on. I didn't think it was. And I thought it was all gone with Buddy Ryan and the Bounty Bowl. The second side is the dismissive side. The side that said, hey, come on, listen, this has been going on for years and years and years, and who really cares? And boys are going to be boys. I mean, come on, this goes on every team. And the third is, well, the fans don't really care anyhow. I mean, they just want to see a football game. Where are you coming down on that one?
Well, you know, they're turning football into a wussy sport.
We become a nation of wusses.
You know, you're taking kickoffs so that people don't get hit. You know, this is a contact sport. And I think that this needs, it's also a culture that has been in football. So it's just that all of a sudden now it was exposed. Now that it was exposed, everybody wants to turn their head and say, oh, that's a horrible thing. When we know that this has been going on. People, you know, players have been making bets with themselves. Hey, you know, whoever gets the best hit, here's some money. So this is just football.
But when I hear people say, and I hear these guys on sports talk shows say, well, wait a minute, the whole idea behind the game is to take the guy out. No, I say no. That is not the purpose of the game. The game is not to take the guy out. The point of the game is to, hold the other team and get into the end zone. It's not to take the other guy out, and that's where my moral indignation comes in.
Right, and I agree with you. No, I don't think people should be going out there with the sole intent of I'm going to break.
But how do you not do that? How do you not do that when you're being dangled $10,000? All righty, we're going over to Major League Baseball.
You give me 10 grand, I'm throwing a hit. I hope he doesn't get hurt, but I'm throwing a hit.
Frat House stuff right here. All right, we're going to go over and take a look at baseball. We got exactly 28 days to the opening season. Opening season. All right, something we didn't get a chance to talk about last week. The addition of, and they said it was going to happen in 2013, but in fact they moved it up and they went and made it 2012. So it's going to happen this year. They're going to go and add additional wild card teams into the mix to quote unquote allegedly expand the playoffs. I thought it was covered quite well. By one of our Yahoo sports writers, David Merwine, who wrote in the whole thing. And I was very much opposed to it. But actually, he kind of explained it pretty well. These two additional wildcard teams will face off for a one-game playoff to see who gets to continue on into the playoffs. So technically, they have not added a team to the playoffs, but rather they added an opportunity for an additional team to get into the playoffs. So the two wildcard teams from the NL and the AL will duke it out in a one-game playoff, the same they would if there was a tie in the division. Now, I know you've got some strong feelings about this because you expressed it last week. Go ahead.
I don't get what this adds to the game. For one, you're giving it two teams an added chance to get into the playoffs. I don't see that the playoff system was broke.
Right.
And I don't understand the concept of a single game when baseball is.
You understand?
Exactly. Baseball is based on series. You've got 3-4 game series during the regular season. You've got 5 game series, 7 game series in the playoffs and the World Series. So I don't understand the concept of a single game.
Yeah, I think a lot of the fans are probably coming back going, well, what's the harm? What's the harm of the whole thing? But, in some respects I kind of agree here, but at the same time I agree with you with saying, hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Right.
So we'll see how it plays out and where it goes, and whether in fact that translates into increased ratings, I guess. To me, it looks like a money grab, but we can talk about that as we go forward. NBA leaderboard. Let's take a look at it real quick because hey, there's some movement going on there, and I don't care what anybody has to say. Everybody keeps saying, "Oh, the Heat are number one. The Heat are the number one." Come on. Those Chicago Bulls are the number one team in the NBA, bar none, right now. All right? Now, I'm not saying that's going to change. Chicago Bulls, number one, 32-8 record. Oklahoma City Thunder are the number 2 team. Take a look at it. I don't need anything more than that board behind me. Miami Heat, they're the number 3 team, 29-9. You got the San Antonio Spurs at 25-12. You got the LA Clippers at 22-14. And my Philadelphia 76ers, 22-17. However, unfortunately, 2-8 in their last 10, so I'm not quite sure. They need to turn that around if they're going to stay up there in the top in the Atlantic. NHL leaderboard. And we've got some fun stuff going on over there. All right. How about this one? We got a new leader in the New York Rangers. Yes, 91 points. They are leading atop the NHL at the moment. St. Louis Blues tied 91 points.
My boy, Blue.
Vancouver Canucks have dropped back to the number 3 spot with 90 points. Boston Bruins at 81. Dallas Stars have taken over in the Pacific with 77. And the Florida Panthers are at 74. Quite a bit of a difference between the number 1 and the number 6 there. But nonetheless, we're going to go take a look at, we got 4.5 weeks left in the NHL season. We're going to go take a look at what I call that gritty Northeast division of the NHL. Home to the Montreal Canadiens, Toronto Maple Leafs, Buffalo Sabres, Ottawa Senators, and that Boston Bruins. And you're going to talk to us a little bit about those Canadiens. Go ahead.
We're going to start off with the stinking Canadiens. Montreal. They're 25, 32, and 10, sitting on 60 points. 2-7-1 out of their last 10. Their leading scorer is David Descharnay with 51 points, followed by Max Pacioretty with 51 points, and their goalie is Carey Price, who has 4 shutouts. His GAA is 2.48.
And those Montreal Canadiens, funny thing, I mean, February 9th, the Archdiocese up there in Quebec, I guess it is, went and took an ad out in the newspaper up in Canada, getting people to pray for the Canadiens in order to get them an 8th seed in the playoffs.
That's
True
right.
story. I would think so. I don't know. Well, you know, it depends on where you're coming from. Maple Leafs. Let's go take a look at the Toronto Maple Leafs. Led by that Phil Kessel. Phil Kessel's got 70 points. 70 points. 33 goals, 37 assists. Joffrey Lupul. Can't discount him. Hey, 67 points, 42 assists that guy's got. Got to be leading the league, I guess, in assists. And their netminder, Gustafsson, James Gustafsson, 2.93 GAA, 17, 14, and 2. Can I tell you right now, Montreal and Toronto better get their act together quickly, otherwise they're not making the playoffs. Let's go take a look at the Buffalo Sabres.
Oh yes, Buffalo. They are 30, 28, and 8, 67 points. They're 6-2-2 in their last 10. Their leading scorer is Jason Palmaville with 59 points, followed by Thomas Vanek with 54 points. Their goalie Ryan Miller, 5 shutouts. He's got a 2.6 GAA. That
Ryan Miller is a terrific goaltender, bar none. I'm going to tell you right now, I'd take him on my team. But I'm going to tell you, what's killing Buffalo is that minus 23 goal differential. Yep. And again, another team, if they don't turn things around, they ain't making the playoffs.
Yeah, because both their leading scorers are in negative differential.
Yes.
So,
Ottawa Senators. Here's a surprise team, in my opinion. 78 points in the division. You got Jason Spezza up there with 72 points. Again, another helper guy. 44 points on the assists. He is followed immediately by his yeah, right, all right, 51 points from Erik Karlsson. 51 assists he's got, 67 points. Craig Anderson is their goaltender at 2.85 GAA. All right, and last but not least, we're going to take a look at the Boston Bruins. Boston Bruins. Can't count these guys out ever. Not when you've got Tim Thomas in the nets. All right, Tim Thomas, 2.32 GAA, 28, 15 losses. No overtime.
Losses.
At all. 0. I think he's the only goalie in the entire NHL. Patrice Bergeron, 54 points. And you got Tyler Seguin there with 54 points as well. Boston Bruins will be there. You can count on it in the playoffs. Let's go take a look at our villains for the Super. He said we're going to take a look at baseball.
Oh, yeah.
Where are you going with baseball there, Sidekick?
Well, I used to love him, now I hate him. Mr. Pujols. I mean, you know, I didn't want to see this guy leave St. Louis. I don't want to see him on any other team. So, he's my villain. I don't know where the disconnect was and how he wound up playing for the Angels, but you're my villain now, buddy.
Well, we got a lot of comments from Facebook friends. Hey, we got Jose Canseco, we got Roger Clemens, we got Chipper Jones, we got Barry Bonds. Hey, we got the entire Hall of Fame committee plus Major League Baseball for not letting Pete Rose in. Mine goes all the way back to the 1997 draft for the Philadelphia Phillies when they knew they could get J.D. Drew. But once Scott Boras made sure that wasn't going to happen, his agent, hey, if you're not going to sign the guy for $10 million, guess what? Don't even think about it. Phil drafted him anyhow, and, well, they went and found a way to get around that. J.D. Drew annoyed me so badly, I've hated every single person with the name of Drew ever since, including his brother, who later on played in Major League Baseball. Oh, yeah, Drew Barrymore, I'm sorry, I hate you, okay? Nancy Drew, forget it. Burn the books. Anything named Drew, forget it. I want nothing to do with you. That's it. There's our show for this week. Hey, you gotta come in next week. Keep us real. Keep us live. Keep us going. See you then.
This town and this team mean so much to me. It truly has been an honor to play in Indianapolis. I do love it here. I love the fans, and I'll always enjoy having played for such a great team. I will leave the Colts with nothing but good thoughts and gratitude to Jim, the organization, my teammates, the media, and especially the fans. I haven't thought yet about where I'll play, but I have thought a lot about where I've been. And I've truly been blessed. I've been blessed to play here. I've been blessed to be in the NFL. And as I go with just a few words left to say. A few words I want to address to Colts fans everywhere. Thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. I truly have enjoyed being your quarterback. Thank you.